disconsolate, despondent, despair are just some of the many adjectives that one may use to describe the West Indies elimination from the 2024 T20 Women Cricket World Cup in the United Arab Emirates. In a low-scoring match, in one which many expected that West Indies should have won, they lost by 8 runs. At this time, my thoughts and my prayers are with Chinelle Henry, hoping that she will make a full recovery and there's no damage that is done to her eye. Hello everyone, welcome to the Caribbean #1 cricket channel as we look back at the 2024 T20 Cricket World Cup and West Indies' performance in that tournament. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your company and welcome your interaction. I'm joined by Basil Butcher. I should have had another guest and I hope he do join us later on. But for the moment, I'm here with Basil Butcher, the son of the late great West Indies batsman Basil Butcher Jr. Sr. And Basil Butcher himself is a former coach of the United States women cricket team. Good evening, Basil, and welcome to the show once again.
Good evening, Carlton. Good evening to your viewers, and thank you again for having me.
Yes, it's our pleasure, Basil.
Thank you.
Now, Basil, looking back at that match, I want to say congratulations to the West Indies team for reaching the semifinal. No doubt, I am very disappointed, and I think that probably, judging from the 15 that we had in the UAE, although I believe that there are some players, 4 in fact, who were in that squad that should not have been there. Judging from the 15 that we had there, I think that we played the wrong 11 today. That was always going to be the case because the team was so unbalanced with too many bowlers named in the squad and too few batsmen. The quality of the players in the Caribbean is not good. Our pool is a shallow one, and we do not have many to choose from. However, I think that we should always try to choose the best from what we have. That is not many, but we did not choose the best of what we have. I am happy that the team reached the semifinal of the World Cup, but I'm disappointed that we got knocked out because I believe after restricting New Zealand to 128 with a little discipline, with a little tactical awareness, we should have got there fairly comfortable. Those are my views. Please, Basil, please tell us your views.
I think I would agree with what you're saying, but to start, I think we missed a trick in my view when we were bowling. I think we could have restricted New Zealand to less than 128, because if you go back after 10 overs, they were 54 runs, and at that point in the last 10 overs, we had at our disposal Hayley Matthews 3 overs, Dottin 4 overs, right? Matthews is the best bowler on our team, right? Dottin 4. Then you could have given an over each to Ramrak, to Alleyne, and to Afi Fletcher, or how you wanted to bowl those other 3 overs. So that meant New Zealand would have been facing our 2 best bowlers at that point in Dottin and Matthews 7 out of the 10 overs. So I think at that point we could have restricted them, which would have made the chase even simpler.
Thank you very much, Basil. At this time, we want to welcome the CEO of BAM Sport to the Cricket Forum. Thank you for joining us, Mr. BAM Sport, and welcome to the Cricket Forum. I hope that you will find this discussion very valuable and an enlightening one, and you will participate fully and effectively. Welcome to the show, sir. Think your
Yeah,
mic is on mute. Yes.
yeah, man. Good afternoon, and thanks for the invite. I've watched the show quite a few times. And I commented sometimes as well. So it's good to be on the panel and on the platform, and yeah, it should be a good and interesting discussion regarding the West Indies women.
Okay, thank you. So thank you for being here. I'm happy that you watch the show and you know what we are all about. What is your feedback on the West Indies performance today? The overall feedback, you hear there Basil saying that we should have gotten New Zealand out for less than the 128. I also believe that we did not use our bowlers like Ramarat well enough. I think that Alleyne should not have bowled that 18th over. Fletcher did not bowl out or over. Matthews only bowled one of her 4 overs. What your thought about the West Indies performance?
I mean, first of all, I think it's you would say it's a pretty decent performance from the ladies. Before the tournament, I don't think many people had them as one of the semi-finalists. So for them to achieve that, it's a good feeling. As a West Indian, as it relates to the overall performance in this game, yeah, I thought at one stage I felt as if we were in a good position to restrict New Zealand to less than the 128, which would have probably made things a little bit better. Um, I was a little bit concerned. I was as when I saw that the captain Matthews only bowled 1 over. I mean, so they left a lot of questions. Ramnarak, as you made mention of, it's I think this is the third game that she hasn't bowled her full quota of 4. You also, I thought I didn't expect Alleyne to come back and bowl her full 4. I think after the first 2, I felt that we had enough bowlers to go around. But when you look at this West Indies team, you have a lot of options, and sometimes it's not as easy as it looks as a skipper. Because I think in today's game we had 7 players that bowled. Um, so it's you could say a good 75% of the team, and you have Stafanie Taylor, who if she wasn't injured, I figured she would have been an option as well. So when you have a lot of options, sometimes as a captain on the day, you may get it wrong. I think she got it wrong in the instance where she herself didn't bowl more than 1 over. I even thought that young Zayda James, who bowled 2 overs for 8 runs, I thought that at some stage, being a left arm spinner, she probably would have been given an opportunity to bowl again. But we also had a player, I think her name is Munisier, who played as a bowler, didn't bowl any over in the game. She's an off spinner. So I think, sometimes they say when you have too much options, you tend to try to feel around too many things. And I felt that was probably one of the things that didn't go to our advantage today. I thought we used too many bowlers. But I guess maybe it's something for them to look at going forward.
Thank you very much, Basil. That leads us right into the selection of the squad in the first place. As I said, I believe that too many bowlers were selected for the original squad, and Munisar practically played as a batsman today because clearly there was no other batswoman in the squad for them to bring in, because Shedin Nation, who was selected, clearly they did not have confidence that she will be better than Munisar with the bat, and they never played Mangru. And so was this squad, Basil, too bowler heavy?
Yeah, I think they needed another batter in the squad. I would have gone for the Jamaican woman, Rashada Williams, even though she's slow. Her strike rate is not up to par, but she's a better option than say Crafton. Crafton did not feature at all today with Henry getting the concussion. You would have had her as an option instead of Nation. And if you're not that confident in Mangru, right, that you would go back to Nation, who was clearly struggling. Mangru played one game and did not even get a chance to bat, and then was out of the team the next game, right? Uh, so those kinds of things. Every player, in my view, when you pick a squad, you must be confident that every player in that squad, when time comes, you feel you're confident they're capable to come in and get the job done. And it's obvious they didn't feel that way about Crafton, now Monisar. And Connell seemed to, like, she went on this tour with some kind of injury that she didn't feature after one or two games,
Yeah,
right? And we all know the story with Nation.
yeah. So it's only one game Connell play, but looking at the 15 that was selected, those in blue, I personally would not have taken them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I would have included. I have players like Trishan Older, Jemba, Jemba Joseph,
Yes.
Shabika Gajnabi, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Brittany Cooper. Um,
Not Cooper. Not Cooper.
you
Not
would,
Cooper.
but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
Brittany Cooper is ahead of these four for me. Brittany Cooper is surely ahead of Shady Nation. You
But
know, Rashada Williams. And
in my
I would have definitely have included, as I have always said, Fafiana Millington. I would have included her as the bowler because, in my
yeah,
opinion, she is the best bowler in the Caribbean. None of these, well, let's say we have some good bowlers here, Ramarak and Matthews and so
mhm,
on. But Fafama Millington is right up there with them, and
yeah.
she's the only one that genuinely turned the ball. Bam Sport, do you think that we selected the squad wrong?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think in the end, when you look at how things turned out, it could be argued that this squad was not, carefully selected. I was a little bit um, taken aback. If Nation is not going to be playing a key role in the team, then I don't think that she should have made the squad. Clearly, she's struggling. I even thought today that I probably would have sent Zayda James ahead of her when she came in there. I think James would have made proper use of those 5 balls that Nation wasted. But I was surprised too that I didn't see Rashada Williams in the team. I know that, the talk has been that she has a very slow strike rate and she takes a while to accumulate runs. But I think with the amount of bowlers that we have and the amount of persons in the team that can bowl, I didn't think that we needed so many persons in the team that can bowl. Monisir is a good young prospect, but I mean, I think she could have been left out for another batter. Um, I think probably one of the reasons behind it too is maybe they weren't expecting Dottin to be a bowler, like a mainstay bowler. I think it was a touch and go in her situation. But I felt with today's team, the moment you realize that you could get 2 or 3 overs from Dottin, then I felt that they could have played an extra batter. Um, I mean, confidence in them or not, I think once they're there, you're going to have to find a way to utilize them in there as best as possible. And I didn't think today playing Monisir and especially, I didn't think that that was a very good option. I felt that they probably could have gone for Mangru or Nation. Being that they're already there, it doesn't make sense. And eventually Nation came in the team as a concussion substitute. Maybe it would have been different had she been there from earlier, when plans could have been made for her. I also thought that it was a little bit unfortunate on Trishan Holder. I have her as a really good young prospect, useful at the bat as well. So I thought that she could have, gotten her way in the squad. But I mean, I think, but and I think also one of the things I looked at, I think maybe they are looking to give some farewell to some of these players because Nation is like 37. I don't see her going much further after this. Quite a few of the players are in their 30s. And so maybe they just probably want to say, farewell. I mean, Nation has probably been the longest serving player in the team. So maybe there was a little bit of sentiment there in terms of her selection into the squad.
Basil, it seems like a number of players went down to the UAE and were not totally fit. BAM Sport there mentioned that Nation probably they're looking to give her a farewell, but they've also given her a retainer contract. You know,
yes.
so we wonder about that. But I want us to listen to what the coach has to say when asked about Stafanie Taylor injury situation and asked about the process of getting her to really play today. She did look like she's moving a little freer today, but you can clearly you could have clearly seen that she was in a little trouble. She was not as fit as her best. This is what the coach has to say in response to that question.
Medical staff did a great job, and every day she was battling soreness and pain, and she was just battling to get through it all the time. It was amazing that she was able to come up today. She looked probably better than she did for the last few weeks. So, she really was mind over matter, mind over body today. She gave it everything, and obviously she couldn't get us over the line, but she put everything in for the team, which we all respect and thank her for that.
Basil, was Taylor putting out too much? Was she putting the team above her personal self?
Taylor's situation is not a reflection of as you would said in the opening.
Could you speak up a little, Basil?
Yes, Taylor's situation is a reflection of what you spoke of earlier in this program about the how shallow our pool is, right? That we would have to play a player that is on virtually one leg rather than a fully fit player, because even that player on the one leg is way better than what we have, the fully fit players that we have sitting on the bench, right? I mean, this is the second straight T20 World Cup. This has occurred with Taylor. Remember, the same thing occurred in South Africa, where she had a back problem, and she was struggling mightily, and then she just couldn't go after a while, right? So that's something we West Indies got to, again, the shallowness of the pool. That was a highlight with Taylor having to play on a bum knee, and in my view, maybe Taylor could have sat out more games so that she could have been ready for games like these.
Thank you very, very much, Basil. BAM Sport, if you were the manager of Taylor, or you were her husband or brother or father, what would have been your advice to her?
So I think the situation is a little bit tricky. I mean, players at the international level, they strive to play in world tournaments. And so I think it would have been difficult to convince her otherwise. I heard he said something earlier that she probably put the team above her personal self. But I mean, she's been in the game for a really long time. I think she has achieved quite a few accolades. And so I think it would have been more satisfying for her as a person to bring this team to the finals and to possibly win the T20 World Cup. I think that would have been a feat that she really, really wanted to achieve. As it relates to the squad, I don't think we have the depth to put a Stafanie Taylor on the bench and expect top performances. I mean, outside of Hayley Matthews and DeAndre Dottin, the other batters in the team are not. You can't set your pot on fire for them every day. If they come good, they do. Kiana Joseph before this had not scored a T20 half century, even though she's been around for a little while. And I think that was a little bit surprising in that game when she made that half century. So I think when all is said and done, it's good. I mean, it would have been good for her to sit out knowing that she's injured, and cricket is her career and that's what she makes her living off. But based on the makeup of the team, I don't think that we would have been able to compete with the likes of New Zealand and stuff without Stafanie Taylor. Albeit she's injured, but I guess the management team and herself felt that she could have been able to produce some runs today. I thought though that if it was me, I would have allowed her to bat in the power play, where the field was in, and she could have expected that a bit more instead of coming in at 4, where it's likely that it's going to be towards the end of the power play, and that would require a little bit more running. So I felt they missed the trick there. So I probably would have gone for her and Kiana Joseph opening, and maybe Hayley Matthews coming at 3, and Campbell coming at 4, who has not really done enough with the bat for me to think that she was gonna perform pretty well as a number 3 in this tournament.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Basil, Keith Aaron, who has always been asking for Robin Singh to be the coach, is now asking that you Basil for a coach. What are your thoughts, Basil? What are your thoughts?
No, there's a current there's a coach. The coach is, I know you want the guy to go. I mean, he has just gotten here. He's now getting his feet into the situation. However, he must be criticized for some of his selections. That comes with the territory.
Yeah. And Basil, I want you to you position there that I always am for the coach to go, and I still believe that he should go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a good coach. I think the team reached this semi-final not because of him, but despite of him. Okay. I think he's lazy. I think he's not doing anything to assist the team. Now, I want you, and listen to this clip for me. He's speaking about the injury to Chinelle Henry. And I want you to pay attention to Sean Diaz laughing when he's speaking about Chinelle Henry injury. The young lady got a serious hit in her eye from a full-blooded hit from the cricket ball. And when Sean Diaz was talking about it, he was laughing. Sean Diaz must not come back to the West Indies. You cannot laugh at something like that. He must find his way to Australia now. He cannot be laughing at something like this. Listen to me.
I think she had some issues, concussion in the past as well, so everyone's a bit scared about that and frightened. And now, obviously, the ball hit really full on. It was a big shot. She must have lost in the lights or something.
Yes, Basil, go ahead. Go ahead, Basil.
Well, she got hit in her eye. I thought it was in her forehead.
No, but there you hear him laughing. Let me play it again. Here is Sean Diaz
scared
laughing.
About that and frightened. And now, obviously, the ball hit really full on. It was a big shot. She must have lost in the lights or something. But yeah, the team just had to get on with the job, obviously. But she's doing well now. And
Basil, we can't accept that.
I think
accept that.
No, Carlton, I think you're going overboard here now, man. The guy, I mean, what you want him to do? Cry? Come on, Carlton.
No, Basil, but I can't accept that from you either, Basil. I can't accept that from you either, Basil. No, Basil, there is a professional way to do it. He can talk about it without laughing or crying, Basil. He can talk about it without doing either of those.
I don't think that rises to the level to get rid of the coach. We don't know the relationship that he has with Henry. That he would have a little chuckle. We don't know the relationship he has with her.
Bam Sport.
I understand what you're saying, Carlton, but I don't think that rises to the level. What do you think, Bam Sports?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit over the top. Mm-hmm. But I understand your point. But further to Basil's point,
wait, Bam Sport. Are you saying that the young lady got hit in her eye from the ball, and I'm over the top for criticizing the coach for laughing at it?
Yeah, but I don't think. All right, so I don't think he was laughing as you're making it out. I think he just had a chuckle.
Yes.
So I mean, and sometimes sometimes that comes down to communication and where you're from, and maybe he could have probably smiled too, and we thought that he was taking it for a joke. I think it's just the way how he communicates, and maybe probably just trying to not make the situation seem as serious as it is. But like Basil said, you don't know the relationship he has with the players. I mean, looking on the TV, sometimes things look different from the reality. But he does seem to have a pretty decent relationship with the players. I mean, even when we're in the dugout, you could see Hayley Matthews there and him having conversations and other players. So, I mean, and I think having pretty recently come into the job, I would say, been to the semi-final of the Women's T20 World Cup. I don't think it would be an ideal time now to send him back to Australia, as he put it. I think he gets another year, maybe two, the team, depending on what they have coming up. But I think also and Ryan Austin is a part of his coaching staff too. Cricket West Indies team to really have faith in him and his abilities as well, because he's been around the West Indies setup for a while at different levels and different stages. So I don't see them making any changes in that department anytime soon. Like I said, I think he has to be criticized for some of the choices he has made in terms of players that were selected and match day selections. But when you say that he's lazy and he isn't doing anything, I don't know how you can judge that, because I don't see what he's doing when they're trading.
Correct.
So I don't know the type of work that he's doing. And I mean, at the international level too, I don't think the coaching is as rigorous as it is at like development level. I think it's more of guidance and talking up and going through plans and
Stick up in right there. Stick up in. Listen to this. Listen to this. Here was Sean Diaz being asked about tactics. Listen.
Question. The boundary count was almost the same. The sixers you guys hit more than they did. But the problem, do you think, just tactically take us through the first 8 overs where New Zealand was fabricating shots, pulling, doing the scoops, something which you guys did not do. And it reminds me of the first match where you had too many dot balls. 50 was the first count. I think 38, 39 is today's count. I'm not too sure. Did you send in a message or something that start fabricating shots rather than rely only on the V area?
Yeah. All right, listen to Sean Diaz's response to that question and tell me if you get any tactics out of what he said. Listen. And when you're going to answer me, I want you to think, because the best example I can come up with for you to answer me now, I want you to think football. I want you to think Pep Guardiola talking to, what the striker name? Holland, or his big midfielder. I want you to think, what the former Liverpool coach name? Not Pep. What's his name? You guys will know.
Not
He's
me.
talking to Salah. I
want
want you to think
Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp.
His response.
Well, the two players in, I guess, obviously, Kiana Joseph is, she's just going to try to hit through the line and hit hard. And obviously, Campbell was probably one who could do a bit more of that. But with Stafanie and Hayley, they're going to play their own game. And 9 out of 10 times they would score freely and do well at that period. So, obviously they were trying to hit the ball. They just couldn't seem to get hold of it. Those girls have played a lot of cricket and are brilliant players. So they've got to stick to what's worked for them in the past. They just couldn't quite middle it. If you look at Susie Bates, she's a great innovator of the game and her batting. So that's her natural game.
So where's the tactics? Tell me, gentlemen, where's the tactics?
No,
the journalist clearly asked him about tactics. And all he's talking about is what the players are capable of doing.
But Carlton,
You think that Pep Guardiola doesn't know what what's his midfielder De Bruyne can do? You think that Pep doesn't know what Holland can do? But he outlined the tactics to them. The reporter clearly asked the man, where's the tactics? Where's the tactics? Did he answer the tactics?
I think the reporter don't even understand what goes into planning for a game, right? Now, when you sit down with the batters, for example, and you look at the bowlers that the opposition team you're going to be facing, each batter would have would plans would be devised between batter and coach how you would approach this bowler in these situations based on your strengths. We can't ask our players to now turn to reverse scoops and doing all those things when they are not masters of it. Susie Bates, as he rightly said, Susie Bates does that, has been doing that for years.
No, but but Basil, no one is asking them to reverse scoop. No, go ahead.
Hold on. One of the problems with our players is that they are not capable or mastered those skills, the various sweeps and all those new shots that you see a lot today in the modern game. Our players are not great at those shots, and more times than not, when they try to attempt to play them, they get out. Right? So I think what the coach said was very reasonable, Carter.
No, that there's no way Basil did he answer the question. Bam Sport, you said that you don't. Did you say that you don't know how the coach is lazy? Well, take it from me, Bam Sport. You're looking at someone who travel all over the world and watch cricket. You know, we're not just
but
we're
Carter,
not just armchair here. But Bam Sport, yes, Basil.
Wouldn't you give the coach some credit? Because this is the best I have seen Zeta James bowl in her life.
Who that?
Zeta James. And obviously, the coaches have helped her to make an adjustment because she bowling like a medium pacer. She bowling seam up. And so she has much more control. You're seeing an improvement in young James.
No, so but that is not his doing. That is it's two things about that, Basil. One is that he's doing because it is a bowling coach. I come into your BAM Sport. One is the bowling coach, and two, it's the evolution of Zeta James. You know, natural selection. You do something often enough, so you take it to the next level. It has nothing to do with Sean Diaz. It's a bowling coach, and it's natural selection. Go ahead, BAM Sport. Go ahead, BAM Sport. Why do you think we should still have this coach?
Yeah, I mean, so all right. So as it relates to the coach, talking about his tactics, I am not one to be too critical of coaches when they don't necessarily explain their tactics outright to the media, because you have to remember
after the match.
Yeah, so you have to remember that the West Indies is not only playing. It's not as if when this tournament is over, they are never going to play cricket again.
No, but BAM Sport, I don't cut you, but he explained the tactics, He did talk of tactics. He said, I leave them to do what they want to do. That's basically what he said.
Yeah, but I don't think he put it quite like that, because he's saying that Stafanie Taylor and Hayley Matthews have been around for a while. They are top players, and he's giving them the freedom to go and play their natural game. And sometimes in team sports, they're going to have to do that. Like, for example, when West Indies were T20 champions of the world, regardless of any tactics that any coach comes with, Chris Kelly is going to go out there and he's going to smash every ball for six if he can. Regardless of the tactics or regardless of the pitch situation or whatever it is, that's how he's going to play, because that's how he has made his living and that's how his game has been formed from the inception. So I don't think a coach is going to try to tweak too much about Matthews and Taylor's game. And he did also mention that he was expecting something similar from Sherman Campbell, and I'm proposing that's probably the reason why she came in at number 3. And from the onset, from she came, you saw that she was intent on trying to attack the bowling. So maybe that was something that they discussed and wanted to achieve. But like I said, the coach had just went to the semi-final of the World Cup. Many people didn't think that they would have achieved this. And I just don't think that now would be the right time to part ways with the coach.
But the coach
amidst this is mistakes, or you could say errors that he has made. And I also don't agree with the point that you are you censure the coach saying that he's lazy and he's not doing anything. But when Basil brought,
You may not agree, but I know that he is.
okay,
I know. It's not something I'm guessing, you know.
okay, but when Basil
Don't
brought up
think
the
that is
point,
something that I'm guessing. It's something that I know. And I
but,
also know, you know, one of the reasons why he's always talking to Hayley Matthews, you have lost the dressing room. It's Hayley Matthews run that dressing room, not Sean Diaz. I can tell you that too. Okay.
yeah, I mean, yes. So let me to my first point. When
Yes.
Basil brought up the fact that Zeta James' bowling has improved, you quickly snuffed that away and said it's the bowling coach. But I think the head coach has to get some credit there.
Correct.
But also, as it relates to the dressing room, I think in international sports or in top level sports, you know, sometimes you're gonna have players, especially captain, who has a good command of the squad. I don't think if the captain has a good command of the team, that means the coach has lost the changing room. But I guess probably you have more inside information than I do. But
Yes.
looking at it from the outside, I don't think it doesn't look that way to me. But I may be wrong.
I think
Basil, when you look at the squad, Basil, you and I know.
yes.
When you look at the squad,
Mhm.
I'm asking you now,
Yes.
and give me an honest answer, Basil.
Yes.
How many members of this squad, if Sean Diaz knows the player, and if Sean Diaz have control over the dressing room, how many members of this squad you think could have been there? If the final decisions were Sean Diaz, although on paper they are Sean Diaz, but in reality, if the final decisions were Sean Diaz, how many of these 15 would have been in the World Cup squad?
I think Sean Diaz picked Munisar. No, remember this, Carlton. Hayley Matthews was not at the camp.
No, but
No,
Basil, no, man.
Hold on, let me finish.
But Basil, you're in New York right now, right?
New Jersey.
You're in the United States right now.
Yes. Yes.
And BAM Sport, I think, is in Kingston right now. And we are not at the same location, but we are communicating.
Yes.
Yes.
No, what I am saying to you, Hayley Matthews did not see the regional tournament. She was playing, as well as she was not at the camp. Right? I was told that Munisar, for example, got selected in this team because she took the most wickets in the camp.
Not Munisar.
Who?
Yeah, yes, Munisar. You said Munisar, yes.
Munisar.
Yes.
She got selected in this team because she took the most wickets in the camp, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying to you, Munisar, Mangru, and Crafton, those three players, without a shadow of a doubt, were Diaz picking those three players.
Thank you very much, Basil. Those three players, name them again for me, Basil.
Crafton, Munisar, and what's the other one?
Mangru.
Those three.
A question to you now, Basil. And be honest and be fair. Would you have picked any of those three?
No.
Thank you. Thank you, Basil.
No,
Let's move. Thank you.
From the time
Michael Douglas is saying, going forward, Zeta James should stop bowling and focus on her batting. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
I don't agree with that. I think she has to focus on both, because at this point, in my view, she should not be in the team as one or the other. She gotta be getting better at both.
So Basil, that's 4 players now who you would not have had in the squad.
No, I didn't have James in my team.
You didn't have her in the squad, so that's 4. Okay, all right. And you think that the coach should be here? So no, you know, do you agree? Do you agree, BAM Sport?
Hold on, as I said to you, we are both me and BAM Sports and yourself. We all acknowledge, from our perspective, there were some selections that were dubious, that we had problems with. In my view, you got to give him some leeway, right?
Basil, you just said
yes.
some selection was dubious?
Yes.
They were dubious.
Yes. Dubious means that they were
And
like
the
this.
coach, and you think that the coach is in charge of the dressing room when dubious selection are being made?
Look, the coach made some. Where you get this thing that the coach is not in charge of the dressing room?
I can't reveal my source.
No. I'm not talking about reveal your sources based on what you say the coach is not in charge.
Based on sources inside of the West Indies camp.
No. Hold on. What characteristics in the dressing room make it that he is not in charge?
He have lost the dressing room. You have lost the dressing room. I can't tell you, Basil, but I can tell you that you have lost the dressing room.
No, Carlton. If that is true, and for a second thing, I want you to define what you mean by losing the dressing room, because I want to make sure you're specific about that. What do you mean by losing?
In a simple way.
Yes.
He doesn't have the final talk. I'll do on paper, just putting it simple, I'll do on paper. He is the man who should have the final talk. He doesn't have the final talk. Yes, Bam Sport, you may come in here.
No, well, that's nonsense.
Yeah, so as it relates to the squad, yeah, I think the 3 players that were outlined, I probably would have gone for different options. Like I said, given the fact that we have so many players in the team that could bowl, I probably would not have gone for Munir. But if the idea is, if in the coach's mind, this is a young player that did well at the under-19 level, or one of the bright prospects from the under-19 level, and he feels that she's good enough to be in the team ahead of somebody who's probably older, then I can't be too critical of that, because you always want to try to build for the future. And like I said, quite a few of these players are in their 30s and probably will be on their way out soon. So it's always good to have young players that could probably replace them going forward. As it relates to the coach losing the dressing room, I think that's a subjective thought. Persons may have their reasons why they say that, but maybe he thinks that maybe that's what's allowing him to be successful. Maybe he's not micromanaging all the players, and he's allowing them their freedom to express themselves. And maybe we would consider that as him losing the dressing room, but he would consider that as a good tactic to allow them to thrive.
And Carlton, just to add on that, maybe from his coaching style, he sees the captain as a leader. The captain and him will have a relationship as to how they're going to be doing things. But he lets the captain be the leader and so on. Because different coaches would allow those things. The part where it's important for him, he has to set certain ground rules. This is how we're going to do things. And the captain, you go ahead and lead the troops. Because when y'all walk out in the field,
that approach again confirms what I'm hearing, that she's lazy. So Donald Popo is saying, good evening, Carlton and Basil Butcher. Well, we have a friend here, Bam Sport is also here tuning in with us today. And it's a really lively discussion.
yes.
West Indies throw the match away today. You think so, Basil?
No, I don't agree with that.
You think so, Bam Sport?
No, I don't agree with that. I think, yeah, the fans will say that in hindsight. 128, you expect West Indies to get that. Yeah. I really did think that, if that team didn't get out right, they would have won that much easily. But yeah. And this is something too that many people would not have said, but maybe Dottin is back out of retirement. Who knows? It's something that you could possibly say. And she's coming to this team, and it's almost as if she never left. Maybe the coach's style is what has also enabled that. So
yeah, she said that. She said she loved the
environment and the camp and stuff. So
and I'm sure, Basil, when it said environment, you know exactly what is being talked about. West Indies Sport Cricket is saying, well done, West Indies women. Yes, that is true. We are proud of their achievement, but we will never be satisfied unless you win, because Winning is the only thing. Winning is not everything for me. Winning is the only thing. And when you come if you come second, it means that you are the first loser. That's simple what it means when you come second, you know. Stephen wrote, yeah, you wanted to say something there, Basil?
Yes, I warned some people before this game. I said there are two things, folks, because some people was talking, oh, Dottin and Taylor and Matthews gonna blow the New Zealand bowlers away. And I warned them. I said, first at Sarja, that's been a tricky wicket this entire World Cup, right? And I said, number two, New Zealand got 3 top-class spinners, 3 of them, right? And we saw them on display today. So it was never no easy pick. And I must say something. This girl that opened the bowling for New Zealand, Mir, you know, this is the first time I'm really getting to see her. I think she's better than Cora's sister. She's a better bowler than Cora's sister. And she got pace. She has pace also, right? Because when she bowled the ball right to Joseph, they had a clue. Joseph didn't know what to do.
Yeah. She. The fact is that going into the match, the West Indies, I think, have only beaten New Zealand once in the last 10 matches or so. I will check it up and find the stats before.
Did we handle New Zealand when they came to the Caribbean most recently? Didn't we? I
think we won one of the match. I think we won one game. I can't remember, but I'll check it up before the broadcast. Bam Sport, would you like to react to that comment from Stephen Roach?
He said Sherman Campbell didn't think President's World Cup. 4 and 6. There was a runner down. She should come at 7. Yeah, I think it was disappointing for Sherman Campbell and the way she performed in this World Cup. But based on the team that we had, I didn't think I would see her coming at what he said, 6 or 7. Maybe 7, but maybe 6 probably would have been better. But like the coach said, he wanted someone to go out there and just take the attack to the bowlers, and maybe he felt with her experience she could do that. I think her outside the power play is a good thing too, because she has the ability to rotate the strike and runs really well between the wickets. Albeit she got run out in a game, but yeah, I think it was not a good World Cup for her. But you know, hopefully she'll recover and be better going forward.
Okay, thank you. So the information on New Zealand versus West Indies, the last 9 T20 internationals that we played before this match, so this made it 10. Mm-hmm. So before this match, the last 9, West Indies had only won 1, and it was a 1-run win from the last 9 matches. Okay. So in the last 10 matches, New Zealand have won 9 of them. West Indies won 1 in September 2022 by 1 run. So that was the last time that we beat New Zealand. So Tyrell is saying these guys can't bat. The women did well. Agree, they did very well, and we are very proud of them. And I'm happy they won almost 800,000 United States dollar. All that sharing go, Basil. What portion does the board get? But they won almost close to 800,000.
That money should go to all the players. They divided to
100%.
Yeah, all the money, every penny.
I don't agree that the players should get 100%.
No. That prize money, there would be other monies for participation as a team. You know, when the TV rights money split up, that go to the board, right? But prize money, the setup is divided amongst them. When Clive Lloyd was in charge, every time they win money, and what they used to do in those days, I don't know if they continue it in today. Even man of the match, that all that money goes into the pool.
Yeah, we are aware of that. But you are saying that there are other money from TV deals.
Yes,
that's not my understanding. My understanding that the money from the TV deals are what West Indies are getting monthly already. West Indies already getting that money monthly already from the TV deal.
So this money should be for the players only.
I don't agree that I think that the players should probably get 80% or even if you want to put it at, I don't. The players should get 80% most. The board should
The
get.
players and the coaches, everybody split up.
React to this from a Basil. React to this from a Basil. Why James is not bowling 4 overs? Also Ramarak. I want to talk about Ramarak. You may react to James, but
All right.
Ramarak. Just a minute. Ramarak took 4 for 17 against Scotland, and in the next 2 matches against England and against New Zealand today, in those 2 matches combined, she have only bowled 3 overs in those 2 matches. I cannot explain that, Basil. How do you explain that?
I think the situation against England, because that was the first game Dottin bowled, if I'm not mistaken. And Dottin took those 3 overs that ordinarily Ramrak would have bowled out of 4, and Dottin bowled those 3. I think that's where it happened. In today's game, as I said to you, in the first 10 overs, Ramrak bowled an over, Fletcher bowled an over, Matthews bowled an over. Who's the other one? James bowled 2 overs. And 4 was bowled by Henry, and somebody else, another bowler bowled 1 over. Oh, Alleyne bowled
bowled over.
1 over. So now we're going into the last 10. You have Matthews available to bowl 3, Dottin to bowl 4.
James can bowl 2.
Right, well, James already, yeah, but I could have seen, I saw from the onset the tactics of this team was James to come a bowler 2 in the power play. Thank you, ma'am. We're not both coming again, right? That because look like this is how they're trying to bring her along in her bowling. Because we would note when you saw James in the past, when they brought her back and so on, she seemed to not to be consistent. So this is what they're bringing her along, right? I felt in the last 10, Matthews being the best bowler we have, will bowl her 3. Dottin bowled really well in the last match, she can bowl 4. And then you can divide up those last 3 overs how you want to, depending on who's bowling best, between Ramrak, Fletcher, or Alleyne, right? Matthews, in my view, did not handle the bowling thing well when she did not bowl herself out. I think that was a mistake. But Ramrak, I understand what you're saying, Carlton, but I thought with the introduction of Dottin becoming a bowling option, Ramrak overs was going to get cut.
Basil, I hear you, but my position is very simple, and I don't try to overcomplicate things. Ramarak, and you can help me here. In the previous T20 World Cup, the tournament, Ramarak was our best bowler, right?
Yeah, she was the top wicket taker.
Right. Against Scotland, she got 4 wickets. Ramarak should not be fitting in the bowling lineup. Ramarak should be one of the main bowlers, and all the others fit around her. She got 4 wickets against Scotland, and you gave her 1 against England. It no matter who else a bowl. You can't bowl her for 1 over after getting 4 wickets in the previous match. It no matter who else, Basil. It is not a matter that someone else bowls, so Ramarak never get to bowl. It's most Ramarak and the others. That's my view on it. When it comes to Aaliyah Alleyne, just replying to Kenton Clunis, and to say that I would not have bowled James any at all, Kenton Clunis, James would not even have been in my team for today's game. So when it comes to Aaliyah Alleyne is always going to bowl for me, especially Henry would have finished. Henry is not on the field. Aaliyah Alleyne is our death bowler. If you follow the cricket enough, if you are watching the cricket enough, Kenton Clunis, you'd have seen that Aaliyah Alleyne is our death bowler. So she's always going to be bowling. Bam Sport, I want you to react to Stephen Roach here. I am sorry, but Hayley Matthews did not look like a real beater. She didn't score against South Africa, Bangladesh, the mighty Scotland, and again today. In my opinion, Matthews is overrated. Only you alone can respond to that, Bam Sport. I can't bother with that.
Okay, so I think that's a pretty overrated comment.
But
mean-
I don't think you're gonna say anything else. That's it. That's
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's good
Don't think that comment merits much more commentary. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
the
So
father.
Tyrell said, "Why we keep playing nation? I don't know. That's a mystery to me.
That's a mystery.
That's a mystery. That it's absolutely a mystery. We support her when she was out there today because you wanted to hit the ball away. But after the match and looking at it, I don't know. So you again, Bam Sport, because you never said anything much then. The West Indies batters need to do better at rotating the strike. We agree? And the running between the wicket as well. It comes back to the question that was asked of the coach. When they were not getting rid of the ball, getting away the ball and picking the gap, what did you send out there? His reaction? I let them do their own thing. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, you know.
But Carlton, let's just be fair for a minute here. So I think what the coach specifically said, Hayley Matthews and Stafanie Taylor. If you have Hayley Matthews and Stafanie Taylor at the crease, there's not much, I think, as a coach, you're gonna have to send out to them to say, because more often than not, those two batters are gonna be able to either score boundaries or turn over the strike. I don't think there are many bowling attacks in the world cricket who's gonna stop Hayley Matthews and Stafanie Taylor from turning over the strike or scoring boundaries, unless they're having a really, really horrible day. No,
I agree. No, I agree with that, you know. That Hayley Matthews, Stafanie Taylor, they are world-class batsmen. And more often than not, they are going to dictate the pace as batsmen. When, however, they are not dictating the pace as batswomen, that's when the coach comes in and said, ladies, it's not working this way for you today. You know, this is your normal way. I know you're world-class players. I know you have been doing things your own way all your life and it have been successful. But today, it's not just working. I am saying to you, you are a world-class player. And every world-class players show their world-class worth by adjusting to situations. So, ladies, I'm asking you just to adjust this for me today.
yeah, Carlton, but I'm saying to you, in the case of Hayley Matthews and Stafanie Taylor, I just don't think the coach would need to tell them that.
Correct.
That's my view. I just don't think the coach would need to tell Hayley Matthews, Stafanie Taylor, and even Shermaine Campbell, even Shadeen Nation. Like, these players have been playing for the West Indies for the better part of close to 10 years or more. They have been at international level for a very long time, so they should be able to go there and to assess and be able to adapt, as you said, to the different conditions. However, I think the duck ball syndrome, I would call it, it's common amongst all forms of West Indies cricket. If you look at the men's team, if you look at the youth teams, if you even look at regional cricket, if you look at Rising Stars, under 19 tournaments, under 17, our players just don't seem to have the ability to turn over the strike as often as they would like. And I don't think that's something that Shane Diaz by himself could correct. I mean, because these players come to him with these challenges, and at the international level, I don't think he has enough time to really work with them. I mean, he could do some work which could help to minimize it, but by and large, I don't. Because if you look at a player like DeAndre Dottin, so today DeAndre Dottin made 33 runs from 21 deliveries. She smashed 3 sixes, That's 18 runs.
Correct.
But however, between that, she didn't rotate the strikers a lot.
No.
But with a player like DeAndre Dottin and her strength, you are expected to give and take her, soaking up some balls, knowing that she's gonna try and make up for it in the end. So I mean, yeah, it's good if the coach can send out messages and stuff, but I wouldn't be too critical of him on that in that regard.
Yeah,
I have seen players.
Carlton, I would want to just add to
Yeah.
what Bomb Sports is saying. Yeah, these players have been in this situation before. They don't need no coach to tell them. I think also something, Carlton.
Then Basil, we probably don't need a coach then. We'll probably just
No, I didn't go that far. But what I'm saying,
no, but if the coach doesn't need to say anything to the players,
No,
we don't need a
no.
coach.
No, Carlton. There's no cricket display. You send out message to the world class players at that time that they don't know they got a session. But give New Zealand some credit. For example, if you looked at New Zealand in the offside,
Basil, let me ask you a question.
yes,
Just for argument's sake, and let's use a small figure.
Mhm.
A man give you $10,000 right now, and you count the $10,000 once. Don't you count it a second time just to confirm it?
Yes, you often do that. Yeah.
All right. So it's not a matter that Hayley Matthews and Stafanie Taylor doesn't know these things. But it's just that reconfirmation by the coach, just that, just telling them, just reminding them that, listen, what is going on for you not working today? So just adjust that. What's wrong with the coach? Reminding them that they need to adjust.
No, I don't think they need reminding of that. The situation of the game would demand that they know they have to do that. That is why both of them got out, because they were trying to do something else. And also, let me just add, give New Zealand some credit. New Zealand planned well for them, because New Zealand had
Basil, New Zealand planned well for them. So
yes,
we never planned. We did not plan well enough. So Sean Diaz was out coach.
I'm not saying that.
Sean Diaz was out coach. Sean Diaz was out coach today.
No.
He was out coach.
Our batters batted poorly.
And it's ultimately the coach responsible, isn't it? Ultimately the coach responsible.
No.
So why we need a coach then?
No.
If it is not the ultimate responsibility of the coach, why we need a coach?
The coach cannot go out and bowl the ball.
No.
It's on the players.
The performance of the team. The ultimate performance of the team, whose responsibility is it?
The coach, but the players have to execute.
Is the coach?
And look, West Indies cricket, we changed but 40 coaches in the last 25 years.
All right, Basil. Let me ask both of you this. You change the coach until you get the right one. Let me ask you this. What?
We gotta produce better players. That's what we got to do.
And of course, so you change the coach. And you see, listen. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. We have this notion that our players are set in their ways, and they have been doing this from they were young, and they cannot change. But I've seen players like Dave Warner, Josh Butler, and others in their 30s evolve their game. We have seen our own Johnson Charles evolve his game to a next level. I am tired of hearing this foolishness that the players cannot evolve after they reach certain age, because what I'm seeing in front of my eyes is not that. I have seen players in their 30s evolving and taking their game to the next level.
That's a whole different subject, Carlton. That's not what we're talking about here. And what you're talking about there, that is on the player. Because a player should always be working on the game to get better. That's not the coach. That's So you agree with me? So you agree with me that the players need to evolve? Yes, you agree with me that the players need to evolve and the coach need to guide the process, facilitate the process. I'm gonna use a quote from my friend, the great fast bowler, Sir Anderson Montgomery Everton Roberts. He always preaches this personal responsibility. And our players need to have, and especially our women players.
So Basil, do you hear? And on all of those who are watching, all of those who have listened to me time and time again, How many times have you heard that I preach that it doesn't matter what West Indies does, or it doesn't matter what the coaches do.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you take the cow to the water, the cow has to drink the water. How many times you heard I preach about players' responsibility?
Of
That has been the
course.
core of my
No,
presentations,
Carlton,
player
Carlton,
responsibility.
Carlton,
But
let
the
me give you an
coach must
example.
facilitate it.
Let
The
me.
coach must be there to say,
Of course, we're not
this.
denying that. We're not denying that. But let me give you a little example. I'm calling him, but I know of a player in Guyana that's supposed to be doing that have another skill. Because I want to call the skill, you can figure it out. The players on the West Indies team, the player has skill A. But when she in Guyana, she telling the coach she want to do skill B. She ain't working on skill A. But when every time we see she play for West Indies, no improvement in her bowling, in the skill.
BAM Sport, if nobody can find singles from grassroots to international cricket, to international cricket, what we really need to do in West Indies cricket, we should just dissolve it if we can't fix this.
I think that's an extreme comment. But like I said, I was making that point to counter the argument that you were making about Shane Diaz, to say that he has these players for maybe a week or 2 weeks.
No. Let me correct you. They were at camp 1 month before the women CPL, 1 month. As soon as the women CPL finished, they flown to Saja as soon as it finished.
Yeah, they had
Am I
another
correct,
camp.
Basil?
Yeah, they had another camp in
It's not.
UAE.
They were
No,
in
Carlton,
Saja. They were in
Carlton,
Saja more than 20 days. No, you said
Carlton.
1 week, so I have to correct that part.
No, Carlton. So, okay, when I said 1 week, I wasn't making reference to this instance, because whenever you have World Cup tournaments coming up and stuff, it's opportunities there for you to have them for extended period. But on a general basis, these players spend more time in the territory with territory coaches than they do with
Correct.
Shane.
Correct.
So I'm saying this. I'm saying to you that I watch these players play in the women's Super 50 and tournaments, and we have the same issue. They soak up that balls.
Yes.
They get out playing poor shots, and they just don't exhibit maybe some of these world class standards that we expect from them. So I'm saying, for you to be saying that, yeah, the coach is lazy and he has to do this, I'm saying yes, he has a part to play, but he can't be taking the entire blame for the situation.
Yeah.
So maybe Cricket West Indies needs to implement maybe more camps, or they need to have more of the coaches at the grassroots level helping the players to work on their skill and their craft, so that when they get to this level, the coach he can spend more time, as you are alluding to work and build up his tactics than to be teaching players how to rotate the strike.
Correct. You BAM Sports, you're absolutely correct. The women players.
Basil, I want to make one comment though before you go on. Hold your point, but I just don't want it to go before I forget it. This women team, apart from the previous academy now, the present academy is going to be in camp for the year. They're going to be out there. But this West Indies women cricket team, apart from Datin and Matthews, who is traveling all over the world playing cricket, this women team is the most camp West Indies team in history. They're at Coolidge more often than anybody else.
Carlton, let me say this. West Indies women have been in West Indies camps where they call like 30 of them in different camps. Last several years, camp after camp after camp. You see, but you know what the problem is? When they all return home, they do not have the support structures to continue to work on the areas that they worked on in camp. And that is where the disconnect.
What support structure they need, Basil?
I.e. coaches, good coaches in their territories, and be able to play competitive cricket. So you only get better the more you play.
All right, Basil. So isn't that the coach give them a program?
The coach give them a program, but they have coaches in the territories fulfilling the program. And I would say this, and I say this without fear of contradiction.
No, man.
Hold on. I will say this without fear of contradiction. We have a poor coaching cadre in the West Indies.
Bam Sport, just mute your mic when you're not talking because we're getting a feedback. Yeah. But remember to unmute as soon as you wish to talk. Go ahead, Basil.
Yeah, we have a poor coaching cadre in the West Indies. And why I could say that, I look at the results. As we discussed, we see the under 15 tournament, the under 17, the under 19. We do not see those basic skills that are required to be developed in those players. And they come to the highest level and they can't even play a sweep shot properly.
So here's AR, and AR saying Diaz look like he's trying to be the players' friends instead of a coach. You couldn't say that. I could not have said it as good as you, AR. I could not have said it as good as
Carlton. But at the international level, the comment also said that they need a drill sergeant. It's not the army team. Why do they need a drill sergeant? We're not training the army. They're not going to war. So I'm saying, remember, at the international level or at elite level, there is a delicate balance you have to strike between having a good relationship with the players and also being stern.
And that is part of being a quality coach. I don't agree with the second statement that they need a drill sergeant, but that is being a good coach to able to have that relationship where the players realize that I am not your friend. For me, you need to perform, and I have you here to perform. That's what I'm interested in. But at the same time, you maintain that relationship, which they will look at Darren Sammy. Go ahead, Basil.
What I wanted to say, one of the pillars of being a coach is player management. And
absolutely.
It becomes more acute when you get to the elite level. Because at the elite level, the players are usually talented, they got the skills, and we have to be good enough to get there. But
1 minute, Basil. 1 minute, Basil. 1 minute, Basil. 1 minute. Management, players management, not friendship.
No, hold on.
No, I'm asking you, Basil. Players management.
Hold on. And when I say player management, you must be able to get your goal as a coach, as party. You get to that as you're going up. You want to get to know your players as much as you possibly can.
But that doesn't mean friendship, Basil. That doesn't mean friendship. There's a difference.
So that means that a player, because remember, first things first, it's a human being you're dealing with. It's not some machine. So that player must feel comfortable and confident.
But you don't have to be friend with the player.
You can be a friend. Why not? Part of being a coach is friend. That's one of the roles of a coach, being a friend.
No, man.
Here. Let me tell you something. When I went through training to be an elite coach, you got about 15 roles. You're a friend. You're a confidant. You're a psychologist. You're a skills. Help to develop skills or enhance skills. All these things you are wrapped up in as a coach.
You don't have to be friend with the players too.
Coach, but here is a professional relationship, and you can have your boundaries.
That's it, Basil.
Right,
a professional relationship, not friends.
You still could be a friend. It doesn't mean me.
No, you can be a friend with 1 and 2 players, yes, because if you're in a group, you're gonna have some persons who you and them are going to move closer than the others. But generally speaking, it is that friendship that you're looking, but you're looking professionalism. And all of those things that you are saying, confidant, counselor, a skilled tactician, it comes on a professionalism.
Right, but you still can be a friend.
For 1 and 2, but not because
you here. It's just like a parent with their children. They got multiple different they got multiple children. They're gonna have varying relationships with their children.
Yes, Basil.
Because they might connect with one personality more than another.
Basil.
That's natural human being.
Basil.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the WhatsApp group that these girls might have,
mm-hmm.
and from time to time they will post in the WhatsApp group when they want everybody to hear what they have to say.
Right.
But apart from that, everybody is not okie dokie when they leave Sarja tomorrow morning, and them gone about them business,
I agree.
Most of them not call each other,
So I hear Carlton. I know that my dad played for the West Indies.
You know that.
And my father said, particularly like when they went to England, when they go to England, there were very few players he went out and hang out with. He would hang out with his friends who lived in England and so on. You had some players on the team that he was friendly with, and especially when he was like on his last tour, he's a senior guy, he's gonna retire after the series. He would always take out young players with him, right? So not every player in the team are you gonna be honky dory, but so when y'all leave at the end of the day's play, y'all gone to your separate ways and doing your thing, So that is not unusual.
Bam Sport, would you like to give us your final comment, please?
Yeah. I mean, so as it relates to the point about being the player's friend and maintain a professional relationship, I think it's, like I said, it's a delicate line, but I personally don't have an issue with coaches and players being friends, as long as they are able to know that when it's time for business, it's time for business. I think Darren Sammy and a lot of these players that play for the West Indies, they're friends. He used to play with them. So they have a relationship outside of him being their coach. He coaches some of them at franchise. He's brought some of them to other franchises in other parts of the world, Zalme and those places. Some of them come to St. Lucia and stuff. So, but at the same time, I don't think people would say, hey, he and them are. Many people believe that the reason why Johnson Charles in the West Indies team is because he and Darren Sammy have a good relationship. And so you're always gonna have those comments or those thoughts. But like I said, and also in every team, you're not gonna always have everybody being close friends and communicate. I mean, even in your regular life, you have family members that you're closer with than others. You have co-workers who, after work, probably you and them will not go to have drinks, while you have some who you and them will, and you will have conversations. But at the same time, you're able to maintain a professional relationship.
Correct.
And being able to achieve certain objectives. So, I mean, that's just natural in terms of group settings.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's always just the individuals involved being able to understand the roles and what is required of them in a particular situation. But like I said, looking on, it doesn't seem as if the coach and the players have too bad of a relationship. I mean, I don't think it's perfect, because I don't think there's any real perfect relationship. But I think, and also, like I said, Carlton asking for the coach to go, having qualified for the semifinals of the Women's T20 World Cup, when many people didn't expect the West Indies to be in this position. I think it's a little bit harsh, and I at least expect him to be there for maybe another year or two. And my final point is, it would be important to see the direction that West Indies cricket is going in from a women's perspective, because, I mean, when you look at the poor performance that Even Nation has given in this tournament, yesterday she's on a retainer contract, and you probably have younger promising players who are not on retainer contract. So, it will be good to see what the message that they're sending to the younger players coming up who's gonna have to take over soon. I think that's something maybe the coach could have an input in that, or maybe that's just Cricket West Indies and how their operations go. But it will be interesting times ahead. And I look forward to see what happens after the World Cup in terms of, the series, and what Cricket West Indies does in terms of putting a better structure in place to help the players, even when they're in their territories. I think more is being done for the men cricketers, because they play regional cricket, and they have to go to camps and they have to train and just to maintain their contracts. But I don't think the same effort is being put into the women's game. And maybe, I mean, even though they're coming up with the academy now, there are players there who are above the academy age, I would say, who can still contribute if they are given the time and the effort that is required for them to improve their game and just to be better. So who knows? Let's see what the next few months have in store. And like I say, it was a good performance from the ladies. And I'm not supporting you, Carlton, in saying that we must send the coach back to Australia.
Thank you. So this is your last time on the cricket forum. Basil, go ahead with your comment.
Carlton, I don't agree with you in regards of jettisoning the coach to Australia. I think the guy is he is in the.
Basil, I'm glad I don't have a problem with you. I know you disagreeing with me. Now. I just don't want you to tell me what to say.
No. I will
right,
never
cool.
tell you what to say. I am just simply saying to you, I think the guy is in the midst of building the culture and all those things that he wants, the vision that he wants for the team. So let's give him a chance to continue. He has got a decent start here, getting the team to a semi-final in the World Cup. I wouldn't agree that. I think if people who closely looked at the women's game and then looked at the group that the West Indies was in, getting to the semi-finals was always on the cards. Because little people know West Indies is ranked ahead of South Africa, right? And South Africa has been a very iffy team. If this year their record was 7-6 coming into the World Cup in T20s, right? I think, as was said earlier, the onus is going to be on the West Indies board to make sure in every territory there is adequate or more than adequate structures or programs for these women players to develop their skills, right? And look for Carlton. Unfortunately, they don't have women cricketing probably in any territory bar Trinidad. So you must be able to set up where these women will be able to play with the boys or the men so they can continue to develop their skills. That has to be a deliberate program in every territory. And you must surround these women with the better coaches, not throw any Tom, Dick, and Harry to be helping them to get better.
Thank you very much, Basil. I want to congratulate the ladies for reaching the semifinals of the World Cup. I am very proud of them, extremely proud. They made me so happy Sunday, coming right up to today. Of course, I am disappointed that they never made the final. Of course, I want them to win it all. However, I am very proud of them and congratulations. I maintain, however, that they reached the semi-final not because of Sean Diaz, but despite of Sean Diaz. I want to say a special mention to Stafanie Taylor for despite all the challenges that she had, she fought the battle. Not many, or I should say I cannot call one name of a male team player, not at the senior level, the under 19 level, or even the under 15 level, would have put their body through what Hayley Matthews, Stafanie Taylor did. I also want to make a special mention of Chinelle Henry. I truly hope that she will recuperate fully from the ball hitting her in her eyes, in her eye. I hope that she will have a full recovery. I am grossly disappointed that when Sean Diaz was talking about the ball hitting Chinelle Henry in her eye, he chose to laugh. That was unacceptable. Going forward, I would want Carl Hooper to be the coach of the West Indies women cricket team. And I challenge you, I am telling you right now that you will see incremental improvement in this team at a rapid rate. Because Carl Hooper is one of the best coach going around. He is the only coach that I've seen while he was the batting coach of the West Indies white ball team. I saw improvement in the West Indies white ball batsmen. I would put him as the coach of the women team immediately. I want also to make the point that it doesn't matter what Cricket West Indies does. And I'm saying that I think that Cricket West Indies, not think, I know that Cricket West Indies has been investing heavily in these women. And I'd have hoped that Sean Diaz would have had them further along the pathway. He's not making the grade for me. Sean Diaz will not get another high-profile cricketing job when he leaves this West Indies team. He will not get another job to coach any team in the top 8 after leaving this. I know that. He used to coach, I think, Papua New Guinea and was used to do some things in New Zealand. No one knew of Sean Diaz before he became West Indies coach. And when he leaves, he will disappear out of sight of our rearview mirror. He will not be coaching another big team. I'm calling for Carl Hooper to be the coach. However, it doesn't matter what Cricket West Indies does. Without the personal responsibility of the players, this team will not improve. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I want to thank my guests, Basil Butcher Jr. and Bam Sport as usual. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to smash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button. I just want to make one final point. It just came to me. I have nothing personal against Sean Diaz. And I know Sean Diaz knows that. Sean Diaz knows that I have nothing personal against him. I just don't think that he's the right person for the West Indies cricket job. And my sole objective is for the West Indies women team to become a winning machine, an absolute winning machine. And I hope Sean Diaz realizes I have nothing against him. If I see him in the morning, we'll have a beer and chat about it. I have nothing against him, but he's not the coach. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones.